Okay. Looks like we're getting rolling here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live stream. It's Dr. Selfridge. We're here on Sunday afternoon. It's 3 o'clock Eastern Time. So I'm here for our usual Sunday show. We have a few people. Actually, yeah, we have a few people here. We have our good friend Mike is in the room. How's it going, Mike? Good to see you. And of course, Dennis is here. We'll check in and say hello to Dennis in a minute. So if you're new to the live stream, we just answer your music questions. Sometimes we can do, well, a lot of the time, I'll do requests of songs you want to hear or songs you'd like me to teach you. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for some more folks to join us, of course, it's summertime. It's the season of graduations. Actually, our school graduation is tomorrow, so I'll be there tomorrow with our high school band. And so it's the band, the orchestra, and the choir. So we're going to perform tomorrow for graduation. We take the buses down and we perform, and it's a great day. And the other thing about this time of year is, of course, graduation parties. So I've been going to a number of my students' graduation parties. That's been great. So it's a fun time of year. Actually, we will say hello to Dennis. Dennis, are you on the line with us?
I am.
Okay. How's it going?
Good. It's been good. I got hit real hard in the beginning of the week with the air problem.
Oh, right. How about that? That big news. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's because it doesn't affect you that much.
Well, you know what? I mean,
yeah, it affects everybody in a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm sure it really was tough for you. Yeah. But that really was sort of I don't know, what's the word?
Anomaly?
Kind of surreal.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had anything like that.
No.
But that was really, really interesting. So how is it now for you?
Fine. Absolutely. It was fine. I got through it.
Yeah.
It just, I hate being in that situation where you're, immunology compromised.
Right.
And, but we traffic through it.
Yep.
The best we can.
Make the best of it.
Absolutely.
Well, good to have you on here again with us, Dennis.
Now, where do you guys graduate from?
University of Delaware.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been doing it there for ever since I've been at the high school.
Beautiful.
A lot of schools. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of my connections on Facebook have been posting pictures, and a number of local high schools seem to be doing their graduations at UDel. So yeah, it's a nice place. It's a bit of a hike. It's like 45 minutes, but
yeah. But you have room.
Yeah, plenty of room.
That's the key.
Plenty of room. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And
great.
All right, I'm going to dive into some questions here, but
okay.
Good to have you on here again, Dennis.
Yep, me too.
So we have our friend Mike Hamilton is here. Hello, Mike. Feel free to let me know any comments or requests you might have. We have Cuber SP is here. Hello to you. Mike wants to know, where do notifications happen when you subscribe? So I think, Mike, when you select notifications, it would literally just, like when I sign into YouTube, it just shows up as a little, kind of like on Facebook. When you have a Facebook notification, there's a little red number 1, number 2, or as far as like how many different notifications you have, there's a number there. So it's up on the bell in the upper right-hand corner. So that's how you would get a notification. Let's see. And Jacqueline is checking in from Philadelphia. Hello, Jacqueline. How have you been? The big news in Philadelphia today. Earlier in the week, the big news everywhere was the cloud of dust all over the place. But the big news in Philadelphia today is, that part of I-95 collapsed. That's wild. Dennis, I'm sure you saw that on the news too. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah.
Isn't that wild? That's
Getting scarier and scarier.
scarier and scarier. Wow.
Yeah, and they tell us we don't need to put money into the infrastructure.
Right. I think we probably do. Right.
I think so.
So Jacqueline and Mike are here. That's good. A few other people here. So, it's a summer Sunday, maybe a little bit slower than usual, but folks, feel free to chime in with your questions and comments. One thing I've been working on with my private students, I have a number of private students, and we do a lot of work with jazz improv. And one of the things we've been doing is learning the classic standards of jazz. What are some of the songs we've been working on? Pennies from Heaven is a great tune. Let me see if I can find that one. You guys know that tune? Let me find a play along for it. So what we've been doing with our when we're learning how to do jazz improv is, basically just playing through. I think a lot of people, or when you're first starting out how to improvise, sometimes we'll maybe learn the melody of the song, obviously, and then you learn. A lot of people go right into learning the chords and the scales. But I think really it's a good thing, especially for beginner improvisers, is to spend a little bit more time focusing on playing the melody and playing the melody many, many, many times until you feel like you've completely got the melody just perfect. And then what a lot of the original improvisers would do in the early days of improvisation and jazz improv is a lot of the improvisation would come from the melody. So let me show you what I mean. Let me find Pennies from Heaven backing track. Good old standard. Here we go. Here's a backing track. Let's see how this sounds. Oh, that's not. I don't like that key. Let's find a different key signature. They have it in C major here. I like it in E flat. Let's see. I wonder if they're going to give us the chord changes. We can do it in, we can do it in C. A lot of people are doing it in C. All right, fine. We'll do it in C major. Pennies in Heaven. All right, so I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here, okay? Let's listen to it. All right. I'm not a fan of that play along track. Let's try a different one. Ooh, this one looks like it's got like guitar. Oh, it's kind of slow. I want a faster one. Ba-ba-da-ba-dee-beep-bee-da. How about this one? It's not giving us the. All right, we'll go back to this one. I wasn't like a huge fan of the sound on this one, but that's okay. It's from this app called iRealBook. Here we are. So this is what I'm looking at. So the melody. Maybe I'll do it on soprano sax. How about that? Beep beep beep. All right. So this melody. I've been working on this song with my students lately. I do see the requests coming in. So I'm going to play through this melody for you. Pennies from Heaven, okay? It starts on, so when you're playing these old standards, you really have to know, obviously, what key you're in. So we're in the key of concert C major. So on my soprano sax, I'm going to be in the key of D major because you go one whole step higher than whatever the piano or concert key is. So I'm in D major. So almost the entire melody is going to be in that major scale, which for me on soprano sax, I have to remember D major, 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Okay? There's the first phrase. You can think numbers. You can think do, re, mi scale. Do, 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 ti, re, re, ti. No, la. Right, ti. There's phrase 1. Phrase 2. Same exact thing, right? The next phrase. Do, 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 do. Yeah, and that's one phrase where it introduces a natural note, the C natural. Do, 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 do. Now, this is the part I have to think about for a second. That's it. Secondary dominant. You have the G sharp in there. So the reason I really stress this with my students, that example right there, that part of the melody, like a lot of times you'll spend a long time learning a jazz song, and you'll get really into the improvising the all the chords and all the scales, and you really start working on all that stuff. And this has happened to me too. I might have a song that I know and I can improvise on, but there'll be maybe like one measure or one spot in the song where I'm always a little bit fuzzy on what exactly the exact melody should be. I might just kind of fake it a little bit, or like not be sure what's the actual exact notes of this one spot, the melody. So I really have been going back and sort of re-examining all of the jazz songs that I know and making sure that I really know the melody really well. Let me try to play, just to put a button on this topic, let me just play Pennies from Heaven and see if I can get the whole melody, okay? And then I'm going to get to some requests. Here we go. Here we go. Spot I was talking about. Very similar. This part's different. See, I have to review that. That's it. So when you're really trying to get a melody like in there all the way, so like you don't make those little mistakes like I was making, there's little things that you'll remember that will trigger you to remember what comes next, right? Like for Pennies from Heaven, I always remember that it starts on do. Do, 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 ti, re, re, ti. La, 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 so that helps me with that. And then there's different spots in the song where I remember, oh, this is the spot where you have to start on re, or this is the spot of the song where you have to add in the flat 7. All right, so there's lots of different things that you can do to kind of really get those melodies just really ingrained in your ear and in your memory. So when you play them, you're playing the melody correct, which is important. Alrighty. So let's see here. Comic Walk on sax from 0 to 15. Let me see. Comic Walk. I actually have not heard this. Comic Walk. Is that from SpongeBob? Like the YouTube search is showing SpongeBob. Comic Walk. I'm just going to Google it. It does say, oh, I see. Okay. Comic walk on sax. All right, let's see what we have here. SpongeBob. Is that it? Is this? I'm assuming this is something from SpongeBob. Okay. All right. So what am Shrek? If you could let me know if what I just played is the correct thing that you're looking for. Here it is. This is what I'm looking at. Good old SpongeBob. Let me know. Just say like in the chat. Just be like, "Yep, that's what I want to learn," and then I will go back and work on that. So let's see. Mike Hamilton is asking, or I want to say hi to Stay for Life. Hello, how are you doing? Mike is asking, "Walking with Mr. Lee" by Lee Allen, and Mike is also chiming in. Oh, Mike, 100%. That's why I spent so much time, just in today's live stream, and like with my students, I've really been harping on how important it is to completely know a song, the melody of the song, like really just know it by heart, because that makes you a better improviser for a couple reasons. You can base your improvisation to kind of hit on that melody, but also go around the melody a little bit. That helps you come up with good improvisations. And it also keeps you on track if it's a song that's got some, a form. Well, every song has a form to it. And it helps you not get lost in, because that's another big thing with when people are trying to do improvisation. You'll start playing and you're thinking so much about what you're improvising or trying to solo on that you lose your place in the song. So if you have the melody deeply ingrained in here, it's really easy to keep on track and not lose your place. So that's the other reason. All right, so Mike had requested Walking with Mr. Lee. I feel like did we do this one another time, Mike? Let's see. See if I recognize it when I hear it. Walking with Mr. Lee. Lee Allen. Give a little listen here. Oh, it's a tenor sax. Yeah. So, Mike, I think you play alto, right? Is it okay if I do this on... My tenor is over there, and I'd have to put it together, which I can do, but I might play this on alto just because it's handy. It's like right here. This is a good song. Let me listen to it again. Oh, Mike's got tenor too. Maybe I'll get my tenor out. This is what we're listening to. Here's my tenor. Here we go. So this tune is a blues. And what makes a song a blues song? What makes a song a blues song? Actually, maybe you guys can tell me. Does anyone know? When a musician says that we're going to play a blues song or a blues, what is it that makes a blues, right? I'd say there are 1, 2, 3 things that make a blues a blues. I wonder if anybody knows that. Some more good requests coming in. I'm going to get to Leonardo's. Hi, Leonardo. How are you doing? I'm going to do your request, Hey Jude by the Beatles. I will do that. Let me do this blues thing that Mike requested. So, one thing I really like about this track, Mike, is it's got that real nice blues feel to it. Mike says, blues means it will be good. Yes, I agree. I mean, blues is just always a good thing. But so let me go ahead and answer my little trivia question there, and that is, what makes a blues a blues? There are three things. The first thing is the chords. The chords that you use, there's a specific pattern of a chord progression that makes a blues, what we call a 12-bar blues. And it has to do with using the one chord. What key are we in? E flat. So the first chord here of this is E flat, and then it goes to what's called the 4 chord. All right, and then back to the 1 chord, and then 5, 4, 1. That's what makes a blues a blues. The other thing is, besides the chord progression, is the form, or the number of measures. In a typical standard blues, there's 12 measures. If you count them, if you sit there and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3. When you get to 12, that's going to be the end of one cycle of the song, and then it goes over and over and over again. So it's the chords, it's the number of measures, and I'd say the third thing is the style. Just all the different style elements, the bluesy scales that you improvise on, the swing style or the straight style, whatever the different styles are, that adds to the blues. Okay, so Mike, here we go. What I love about this one is it's got a really cool like call and response style. Okay, that's a very common jazzy thing you hear in a lot of jazz tunes. That thing. You hear it in different songs. You hear it a lot at the end of songs. You know when they go, right? It's a very common little riff in jazz. Here they're using it as the introduction. Okay, and then they go into the blues form. Right? 5, 6, 1, 1. So I'm listening to the scale. 5, 6, 1, 1. And the next part is what you would call like his improv solo. So, very cool, Mike. Thanks for that. Thanks for that suggestion. That is a lot of fun. Yeah, Mike, exactly right. Mike said I was going to ask if learning it you could practice call and response. Yeah, that melody is sort of like just calling. I'm going to say calling out for, but there's call and response. It's just asking to be a call and response. When they leave that space, right? The call response would be in there. Okay, let's go back to Shrek's request. Here it is, because he said, yep, I had the right one. So let me go back here. This is... And Kona is here. I did say I would answer this question last week, so I'm going to get to your question as well. Let me do Pug Channels, this one from SpongeBob. let's see here from the beginning to 15. So here we go. This is what we have. Let me show you up on the screen what we have. Okay. It's like that with that sound on the flute. It's called a flutter tongue. So you're asking me to play this on sax. So that's like the little introduction, and then something else happens. Trumpets, string bass. String bass is playing a diminished arpeggio. Ba, 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 ba. It's a muted trumpet with a growl. Strings. So I think probably like what you'd call the main melody of this song starts right there, and those are clarinets. Broop, 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 broop. Let's listen to it. Right here. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. Okay. Let me pick out this melody here. Ba, that's where it starts on. What note is that? So that's gonna be an F on the alto sax. Ba, 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 da. Yeah. So it's like the top 4 notes of a major scale. So la ti do, but it's a ba, 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 da, ba, ba. Down to a low D. Okay, so we're like in a for alto sax we're in a B flat major scale, but we're starting on F. F G A B flat. And then G F D is what I just played. Oh, ba, ba, ba. So that note right there is what makes it sound a little bit off kilter or a little bit sinister maybe. That is a C sharp, would be like a flat third technically in B flat major. Ba, ba, which is a G, so low C sharp to a G. So I just realized I went beyond the 15-second mark, which you had said 0 to 15. So yeah, I kind of just taught you the part of the song that you specifically didn't ask for, so I'm sorry about that. But the beginning part is kind of hard for me to teach because it's like so many different things happening on different instruments, and like let me teach you that beginning part because I'm about to play flute for this other request that we have. I'm about to play flute for Hey Jude on the Beatles. But before I get to that, let me just do this little flute part for you, Shrek. Bop, bop. Bop, bop, bop. That's chromatic. Oh. All right. So it's B, C, C sharp, E. Bop, bop, bop. So that's an E minor chord triad. So that's called a flutter tongue when it's on the D sharp, and you actually literally flutter your tongue like you're rolling your R's, like in certain languages, right? You do that when you play, but with no voice. So. Okay, that was a cool request. Is that like something from SpongeBob, like from an episode that I like SpongeBob, but I have not watched a ton of episodes. All right, so let's go to Leonardo's request. Hey Jude by the Beatles. All right, this is a nice one. And I bet we're going to be able to find a play along. So I'm going to YouTube. Hey Jude, Beatles. And I'm typing in sheet music. I bet we're going to find something. Hey Jude. Okay, so just pick out which one looks like it's going to be a good play along. How about this one? Sheet music online. All right, so this is what I'm looking at, everybody. This is what I'm looking at. So the thing about this one is it doesn't give you any kind of intro. It doesn't like give you a count off. Let's see. Let me see what the first version sounds like. That's what I'm looking at here. All right. Again, it just kind of jumps in with no intro. I'll try one more. Oh, here we go. This one looks like it might be good. Let's see. Ooh. I already like it. Here we go. Goes on for a while. You could probably tell I really like that song. I played almost all of it, but that last part repeats so many times. I figured I would stop it there. Thank you for that request. I love that song. Let's see what other questions we have going on here, okay? Morphin is here. Oh, I got to get back to Kone's question about chords. So I am going to get to that question. Let me just see who else we have checking in here. Okay, we have a question about... Oh, Alexander Taylor. Alex is here from the UK. Hi, Alex. How are you? And the Beast has a question, a request. Worth It. Who is that? Can you tell me more about that song? Is that by particular? Let me know what artist that's from. Real quick. You know, let me go back to Kone's question because I said I would answer it and I don't want to run out of time. So Kone had checked in how to solo over chords. Okay. And Kone plays the trumpet, according to this. So here is the basic, quick answer to how to solo over chords. So let's go to the piano for this, okay? Here's the deal. You ready for this? Let me turn this up. Quick introduction. So basically, when you look at a song, it's going to have chord symbols. So Hey Jude, right? We just played Hey Jude, and it started off on an F chord. Oh, that's loud, sorry. And then the next chord you would see is a C chord. C chord, it would say C7 because it's got this seventh note, the lowered seventh. So in order to be able to improvise over chords, you have to start to learn about music theory. And so one of the first things you would learn is this song, Hey Jude, is in F major. You'd see an F chord, and you would have to learn your music theory that in an F chord, the notes that are present in the chord are 1, 3, 5, F, A, C. Those are the notes that are going to sound the most sort of correct. They're going to be the notes that sound the most consonant is a word that we use, or they're going to sound like really good right notes. So if I'm improvising on trumpet, since you play trumpet, I would know that on trumpet, my transposing, that I have to play a G chord. So I have to play a G. I have to play a B for the third. And I have to play a D for the fifth. Now I could play those notes in any octave. I could play them high or low. It doesn't matter. So you'd learn your arpeggios in your whole octave, in your whole range that you can play. So a low G. And then a high G. I'm not really warmed up on the trumpet, so I'll save my high G. But if I encountered that chord, whoops, and I want to improv over it, I could play something just based off of those chord notes. I could play like, or like, 1 to 3 to 1. So I just made up my own little tune based on that chord. So that's something I could play on that chord. You could also use any note from the major scale. So I could do something with a scale in it. But I'm going to want to end my little melody that I improvise. I'm going to want to end it on a chord tone. That's going to sound like the most, quote, correct. It's going to sound the most right. So that's the first step, right? Okay, so you can see how this goes then. Then I would go to the next chord. And I have to learn, okay, it's C7. So what am I going to play on a C7? C, E, G, B flat, right? So there's the basic introduction of how to solo over chords. I could talk about this for another hour, probably, okay? So there's an introduction. Let me know if that makes sense. Let's go to Steven's question. Steven Andrews, is flute easier to learn the basics as compared to clarinet or sax? I would say flute, clarinet, and sax are pretty much equivalent difficulty. Some people say the saxophone is easier. I would not say the flute is easier. Some people might say the flute is harder because on the flute there's a little bit more. It takes a little bit longer to get the hang of getting a sound on the flute because you have to get your lips in just the right way to make a sound across the embouchure hole. So sometimes beginners at flute have a little bit of a learning curve when they're beginning, and it kind of takes them a while at here to get a sound, and then it starts to improve. But flute, clarinet, and sax are pretty much, in terms of the difficulty here, they're pretty much the same. Some people say saxophone is a little bit easier because on saxophone, you don't have to cover any holes like you have to cover holes on the clarinet. Saxophone, you just press the right button and it covers the hole completely. Kind of like, actually, beginner flutes, same thing. You just press the right buttons and the right note comes out. Okay. More requests here. Joelee LV. Thank you, Joelee. Appreciate it. North of Toronto, Canada. All right. That's cool. Leonardo also wants, is requesting Frozen. Let It Go. Okay, there's a classic one. More requests coming, which is cool. MB, let me answer this question. MB, my son has just finished trumpet with the school band for the year. Do I have any recommendations for what he should practice over the summer to prevent regressing? Yes. Okay. So the biggest thing, honestly, here's my number one piece of advice. Well, actually, number one piece of advice is if you can get him involved in a summer music program of any kind, or like schedule 5 private lessons at a local music store just over the course of the summer, you know, something like that, just to keep him playing. The biggest thing with not regressing is, and the biggest thing with practicing is, it almost doesn't matter what you're practicing. It has to be something that's going to motivate you to want to practice, right? So it could be lessons that are motivating you to want to practice. It could be being in a summer music program that's motivating you to want to practice. It could be finding songs. It depends what level your son is at. Mike says, play anything except Baby Shark. Mike, even Baby Shark. Yeah, actually, well, that's a whole tangent I could get on later. Whatever it is that's going to motivate him to practice, it depends on the level. So it should be, here's my advice on what you choose to practice. It should be something that is not so easy that he doesn't really have to think about it. Like if what you're playing is so easy that it's not giving you any challenge, then it keeps you playing, but it's not like really going to progress anything. But you also don't want it to be so difficult that it's just so frustrating that you want to give up. So you have to find like this middle ground. So not knowing what level your son is at, it's hard for me to recommend something. Actually, here, I have the beginner band tunes packet, which I think even if you've been playing for a few years, or actually, yeah, there's beginner band tunes. Let me go here. So this is where I'm at. My beginner band tunes here on drselfridgemusic.com. There's also, let me do sheet music. What else do we have? I have some, oh, I know where I need to go. Live stream band. If you go here, I have a bunch of stuff that I used to do with my when I was doing more live streams during the pandemic, the shutdown. Classical melodies, this is a good one. These, let's see, trumpet. These are going to range from pretty easy to challenging. So this would be some good stuff. So yeah, check out my website here, okay? If you click on live stream band, I'm going to pop this in the chat. Pop this in the chat. Here we go. All right, so TikTok Legal says, I just got my mouthpiece and some reeds for my clarinet today. Thanks for my first day ever. So today is literally your first day playing. That's exciting. And you can play Hot Cross Buns. You're welcome. So let me recommend to you, my friend, that the very same website I was just talking about, my website, Dr. Selfridge Music, if you go to beginner band tunes, I'll put this link in the chat as well. There's a lot. So if you know your 3 notes for Hot Cross Buns, mi, re, do, or E, D, C, right? there are a number of songs that you can play. And if you just learn 2 more notes, so there's the link. I just put it in the chat. So you know your E, D, C. So those are actually the harder notes to play for beginners. If once you got your E, D, C, you go to your E. If you lift up your first finger and leave your thumb on, that's an F. That's the next note in the scale. C, D, E, F. And then you take your thumb off. That's the easiest note to play on clarinet. It's no fingers at all. It's called a G. G. So you can go to beginner band tunes, and there's a bunch of songs you can play. All right. Let's see here. What else do we have? Okay, so MB says, my son is going to grade 8 in Canada, 3rd year of band. Okay, so depending on how much he's advancing, because it's funny, when I was I tell this story to my students a lot. When I was in elementary school, middle school, I started clarinet in 5th grade, and then I switched to saxophone in high school. But we used to sort of, I used to think to myself, like, oh, I've been playing clarinet for 3 years. Like, I'm pretty good. But the reality was, I didn't practice very much. I'm sure your son practices more than I practiced, because I didn't understand. My teacher, I don't want to blame it on my teacher, but I didn't really get the message that if I really wanted to get better, I was expected to like practice at home. And to be fair, it wasn't even that I didn't get the message. I didn't really. This goes back to what I was saying before about finding stuff that like makes you want to practice. I didn't really have any kind of nothing was like inspiring me or like making me want to get my clarinet out at home very much until I got to high school and I got really into playing jazz, and that kind of flipped the switch and I started practicing all the time. So the point of my story is I tell my students all the time, you could be playing your instrument for 1 year, and if you practice a whole lot, you could be progressing faster than someone who's maybe been playing for 4 years and isn't practicing very much at all. You could easily surpass someone who's been playing for 4 years but hasn't been practicing very much. So anyway, that's just something I use to kind of let my students know that it really is up to you how good you want to be. All right. Leonardo says practice is important for everyone to understand. They should keep practicing every day. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go back to some playing requests. Open wide, looking. What's this? Leonardo is coming in with some good requests today. Let's see. Oh, hello, Robert. Good to see you. I hope you're still here. I missed your chat message earlier. I'm just looking for these requests here. Here it is. Open wide, look inside by the Wiggles. So the Wiggles children's show, my niece used to watch when she was a little baby. So I remember this. All right, here we go. I got to see this. Ooh.
Open wide, look inside. Clean those teeth and then no cavity can hide. Open wide, look inside. Clean white teeth are all a style. Yeah, get out that brush. Toothpaste and floss.
Boom, 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 boom.
They add up to clean. What a smile, you're a star. The cleanest teeth you've seen.
Nice song. Okay, I'm going to take it back to the beginning. What key is that? I'm going to say that's probably... Is that an A? It's a G. I should have trusted my first instinct. My first instinct was to say that was a G, but I second guessed myself. So they're in G. G major. Open wide. So he's singing on the root. So that's G, G, G.
Look inside, clean those teeth and then no cavity can hide.
Okay. So it's a lot of G, do, do, do. And then da, 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 da. Let's go into the F sharp.
Open wide,
F sharp.
look inside, Clean white teeth are all a style.
There we go. Very catchy tune. Bump, bump, bump. Bump, bump, bump. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, a lot of these catchy tunes. The catchier the tune, especially children's songs like this, it's going to be usually probably a pretty simple, straightforward melody, not too much complicated to it. Let's see. Rewrite the Stars. Okay, I want to go to some other requests here. So Stay for Life, you requested Fire Dance by David Schaefer on the bass clarinet. I do not have a bass clarinet here at my studio, but let me see if I can find Fire Dance. So I have mentioned this before. Oh, good. So a lot of times when people do requests, there's like two kinds of requests for me to play. One of them, they're either like popular songs or songs that a lot of people know from like TV shows or things like that, or pop songs. Or sometimes there's songs like this one that you've requested is like a song that you're probably learning in your band class or you've learned at school. And so those are what we call band arrangements. So those are sometimes less easy to find on things like YouTube, like recordings and sheet music for that. But I did happen to find it. Here it is. This must be a popular one. Now this says with score. Oh, okay. So I don't have a bass clarinet with me. I can play the bass clarinet part on an actual B-flat clarinet, this one. Did you know that bass clarinet and you might call it regular clarinet, the B-flat soprano clarinet, are in the same key. So they can actually play the same music. It'll just sound an octave apart. All right, so I'm looking at, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unzoom. There we go. I'm going to zoom in here so we can see the bass clarinet part. Tricky part here is we're looking at the entire score, so it's going to kind of go by quickly. Bum, 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 bum. All right, I'll play that much. I'm going to play that much on bass. Let me get back to the beginning. All right, so the bass clarinet part is here. Bum. So we're in concert D minor, but E minor for clarinet. E, D, G, G, F sharp. That's going to be a low F sharp. Okay, I'm going to play along. See if I can keep up here. Ah, here we go. 1. Ah. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Resting through here. Peach turn. Okay, bass clarinet's going to come in here at measure 23. Bop, bop. Here we go. Okay. Cool. That would sound even better if I had an actual bass clarinet with me. So just imagine what I just played, but like an octave lower. All right. We're actually, today's class went kind of quickly. Let me see here. What can I get to before the end of today? And again, if you made a request and I kind of missed it or got distracted, I apologize. Let's see. More questions before we go. Mike Hamilton is requesting titanium. Okay. I want to answer a question, though, before I do any more. Stay for Life is saying, I'm going into 9th grade and I'm doing marching band. That's cool. Are they... Now, here's a question. Do they have... Depends on the school. Some schools have marching... People will march with a bass clarinet. Our high school doesn't march bass clarinets, but some schools do. So, yeah, as a bass clarinet player, that's cool. All right. Ninja Kid, welcome back. Good to see you here. Says I've been gone for a while. MB, all right. That totally makes sense. My son does practice. Always needs reminders. Yes, he does have a piano background, which has helped him a lot. Yeah, so I would say like finding things that are going to motivate anyone. I need motivation to practice sometimes. There'll be days I don't feel like really practicing, but if there's something I need to practice for, or a concert, or just a song I want to learn, then that'll motivate me. Okay, Stay for Life. Can I play We Don't Talk About Bruno on bass clarinet? Let's do this because I just have a couple minutes left, and Elise, I don't think I've done anything for Elise yet, or Alice. I'm not sure which way to pronounce your name. Can I play When You Wish Upon a Star? Yes, and I don't see a specific instrument, but let's see. I haven't played much on clarinet today. When You Wish Upon a Star, sheet music. I bet there's an accompaniment for this. Maybe I'll play it on flute so I don't have to transpose. Let's see. Now someone's playing it here. All right, let's see what this one is like. Ooh. Fancy. Okay, so maybe this isn't a good choice because it's very much a specific arrangement. Yeah, it's very rubato too, so maybe I'll pick a different version. Let's see here. Maybe I'll play along with this guy on violin. Let's do that. Why not? Violin cover with sheet music. Playing a duet. Bridge. Okay, so that's a nice cover, a nice thing for a violinist to practice with. What channel is that? That is GMS Easy Violin. Look at that channel. Cool. So, folks, believe it or not, time has gone by. Elise says our school usually doesn't march bass clarinet, but this season we have a part that needs it. Okay, that's cool. And then my school, Stay for Life says my school that I'm going to is marching Barry sax. Okay, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you for being here. When I do complete today's lesson, when I sign off, you're going to see my screen here, right here, which is going to show you how you can get in touch with me or follow me on social media. So please do that. Guys, thanks so much for all of you who stuck through and participated in the chat. I really appreciate it. Dennis, thank you for another great show.
Very welcome.
And try to stay cool. It's starting to feel like summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really starting. The humidity's starting to hit. So, guys, thanks so much, MB. Thank you, Joelee. I appreciate it. If I didn't get to your request, I apologize. But great requests, great questions today. And we'll be back. Well, let me think. Wait. Next week. Okay, so I'm actually about, I should fill you in on this. I'm about to have a little vacation, sort of a vacation. I'm going to be away next week, next Sunday. And the following Sunday, I'm going to be... Dennis, I don't know if I gave you my agenda here, but
No.
next Sunday, this Sunday I'll be away, but then the following Sunday I will be in Europe.
Right.
Yeah, so I might do some live check-ins from Europe or some videos, but we won't be doing our normal show until after, July 10th. So I'll be in touch with you, Dennis, and keep you updated. But a little bit of a hiatus while I travel the world for a European musical tour. So. Everyone, thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to be off for a couple of weeks, but I'll be checking in from time to time on my European vacation / music tour. And I'll talk to you all soon. Until then, have a great week. Have a great summer. And don't forget to practice. And I'll be seeing you next time. Okay, bye-bye.